like to say that I'm gonna get one of my cars going. The truth is, you know, funds are tight. So, and this is probably a good project for us. We're gonna get into some Corvette shit. Check this out. All right, now let's knock the dirt off of it. All right, must have a 3/4 race cam in it or something. And man, look at the wobble on those pulleys. Can I zoom in on that? We already seen some things. Look at this. This is how you do it. All right, watch this alternator. That alternator don't exactly reek of like, it's just bouncing all over the place. It's because of that big ass cam. When you got a big hog ass cam, you're gonna run into problems like that. Oh yeah, some good stuff in there. Yeah, we're gonna need to get that going. Oh my God, I can't believe it ain't caught fire yet. We'll get that battery disconnected. Got no radio, but who knows what's down there. We see some wire connector, butt connectors. Got some exposed stuff down there. I got some chopped wire down here. I got a fuse and relay. This will get rid of that, but we're gonna start with the basic stuff that I got first, which is we'll do engine-ish stuff. That's not the major stuff, but it's something I can get to right away. So I'm just gonna get on that, get that going, get all these wires uncovered. Okay, we got the Corvette here, and I was pulling the radiator cap off, and I got me some juice out of here, and it got no antifreeze in it. So all I gotta say is it ain't the first time somebody drop off a rig in the middle of winter, ain't got no antifreeze in it, Jack. Yeah, I had the old classic fan zip tied through the radiator there. Whoa. Oh, no, they got a third zip tie down here. My bad. Oh, we got some classic wire in here. You wire this, and that lets the heat dissipate off the wires. It's going down to the ground down there. And then you connect it with a butt connector using speaker wire, so your fans sound awesome. Not only that, we're gonna run both fans from the same connection. Damn. I don't know how this car didn't burn down in the first place, but we'll see if we can help it out. We don't want, like, if you turn on the brights and everything and we're pulling like 12 amps aside or something, or like say 10 amps aside, we're running 20 amps there. At say $6,000, you run 6 amps on this HEI, and then the rest of your lighting will run an amp or two, you know, and maybe you got a radio or something like that. We just want to keep the battery up. I don't even think this alternator would have held up to running the lights, both fans, and the rest of the car. So I'm going to try to help size the components to our charging system. And this thing flops all around, so it's complete junk too. So we're going to need to add a bracket to hold the alternator steady. I wouldn't even be opposed to putting a stock fan back on this with a stock shroud, because that would probably move the most air through this engine bay. The radiator is basically rotted apart. Pulled the upper radiator hose off. One of those nice one of these nice braided jobs. I have no idea what's in the middle of here. Some kind of other hose clamp or something. Anyway, junk. It's got a busted fan shroud. It's got 2 random fans on it from I don't know what. That's off possibly a Japanese car because of the writing on the top of the fan. I don't know where the other one came from. It was mounted on the front. They were both hooked up with some janky wiring. But anyway, we're going to start tearing into this. I tried to get all the water out of it I could last night because it didn't have any coolant in it. I'm not quite sure how this particular choke works because I don't see any kind of thermal stuff on it that keeps the choke opening and closing thermally. So to me that choke doesn't work. Maybe it needed a choke cable, so we'll have to look into maybe if they make an electric choke. I don't know, we'll get to that. I'm just looking at the major components. Found some more gems, stuff like the front light sockets. Somebody replaced the end of the connectors, where the bulb goes, and they don't fit in these. They're not the correct one to fit in here, so we needed to change the sockets to fit these. That shouldn't be real hard. Obviously the grills that covered these up going to need to be replaced because they had some goofy fog lights in it. And we can probably try to make these as good as we can somehow, and probably get them clear first, or maybe they want new ones. I don't know, probably new ones, but that's for someone else. That's just a part change. And I started stripping off the alternator wiring, and there's an extra foot of wire in here or so. I don't know why that is. And then some of this wire is just completely bare. Most of these wires got too hot at some point and melted through the insulation. Let me see here if we can see that. This guy here, you can see that guy just missing there, and there's probably more missing insulation under here. Most of the tape is melted, you know, is getting semi-melted to the wire, and yeah, so we're gonna get all that sorted out, and we can probably run it back along a firewall or something. Then I noticed the fuel line didn't even have a hose clamp on it. So there's quite a few little things to address. I think I'll just keep stripping stuff and seeing what we see. Expose the wire coloring, that'll make it easier to identify things, and we'll see what goes on. Got like this wire here that was just completely busted off of the firewall. I don't know if it went in there or where it went. Like a tack, I don't know if it was a tack wire or what. And then we got this kind of random wire right here, or that might be a vacuum line that's disconnected. Yeah, so I don't know, we'll see what we can see. This is an old school washer pump here, but the back cover looks kind of newish. I don't know if that's just because it's plastic or it's been worked on before. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. This looks like Bondo more than seam sealer, but I don't know. You know, maybe that's because it's fiberglass. You know, it's like plastic. Like you could just, this is all just, some of it's just pull up. You know, it's probably could use some seam sealer across it. I don't know. I'm not a body man. So anyway, getting it up. We're getting most of the wire. We've got it all kind of pulled off of the front of the car, minus the headlights, back. Now we're working our way through this area of the wiring, stripping it off and get it up to the firewall. And yeah, removing some of the stuff that's clearly not stock stuff, because that
never done right. Now it's my turn to bring it to life. Hands full of grease, sparks in the dark, tracing the circuits, igniting the heart, turning the wrench, digging in deep. Gotta wake up this old machine from its sleep. Rewind and running, she's coming alive. Fastback shining, ready to drive. Tore her apart just to build her back. Now
we pulled the seat out to get to this brake booster, and we found all kinds of goodies. So over here Like, I don't understand this. If this is stock or not, I gotta figure that out. But it's some kind of, you know, fuse panel, but it looks like that underneath. Yeah, I don't know how many circuits actually go to it. There's only a handful of wires. I feel like that'd be an easy thing to update. And then we got this, and I found some wires sticking out of here, and some more speaker wires or something down the side of here. And this was just pulled out. I didn't undo that or nothing. This has just been like that when I got it. And it's got a button installed over here for something. The nitrous button. I don't know what this is for. That's a flasher module. I have no idea. I have no idea yet. And then if I get under here, we got this mess of wires. And then I started looking at things, and it's like, oh, I have some wires here. Speaker, I have no idea what's going on here. Bunch of wires chopped off. I got something added in here, an accessory deal added in there, a module under here. What is that, a car alarm? I don't know. You know, this is typical brake stuff. So anyway, we're gonna need to get under there and take a look at some of that. I mean, look at this hot mess right here. Like, doesn't even fit in the hole. So there's some ducting issues. Well, we'll see how much wiring we can clean up. Yeah, look at a tiny gas pedal in a Corvette. I guess you don't need much. There's not that much in some of the race cars, just a bar across that you press your foot on. Sometimes they have a roller. But we just got to get under there and get the brake booster bolts. And yeah, gotta look at this stuff. Look at the radio wiring. We can do something about cleaning that up. Yeah, looks like there's some vacuum operated ducting or something under there. I don't know if this is factory soundproofing or what. Not sure on that. But yeah, I wonder if it really says 1978 on that paper. Trim 92. 202? I don't know. C14. Oh yeah, look at that part of the dash. That part of the dash doesn't even line up. Like, something's wrong with the dash. It don't press all the way up right there. And we got the washer wiper deal here. That switch seems to move, but wash and then wipe. I don't think that's supposed to stick up like that. Got that that thing there. We got a piece in here that's sticking out. Oh man, this thing is messed up. All right, well, yeah, I wonder how many of the gauges work. I didn't even look when it was running, but you didn't want to run it too long because if the fans kicked on, I was afraid it was going to burn down. HEI small block Chevy distributor nonsense. First off, let's take the cap off. I noticed this one didn't have all the cap locks on, so just going to push down with a flat blade and pull the cap off. I marked before I pulled the spark plug wires off because this was all running, so if you got a running rig, this is the easiest way I know how to do it. I just mark on the distributor cap where number 1 was, and I know that's 1, 8, 4, 3, 6, 5, 7, 2. That's whatever your, you know, the distributor goes in that rotation, then you're going to have the right, you know, the firing order goes in a circle from number 1. So I'll pull this off. Got usually a little clip here that goes down to the bottom of the distributor, goes to the ignition module, and then you got your battery wire and your tack output off the coil. So we'll set this aside. You know, this is your basic cap. This one don't look too bad as far as that goes. And then this is the rotor. If you are going to turn the distributor or do anything with it, I always also mark the rotor and which way the distributor is pointing. So I'll just take a marker and mark somewhere where I can line two marks up the easiest if you have to remove this. That way you can get it within a couple degrees to get the engine back going again and then retime it. So I'm going to go ahead and pull off this rotor. It's usually just two, I don't know, 5/16 or quarter or something. What we got here? Standard Motor Products, SMP. A big old chunk of rust under there, right on the thing here, on your weights. It's got a set of weights, set of springs. I guess let me zoom in on that. Let's go over here. These are the weights. These adjust your, you can see how this moves forward for advance. So it gets ahead of the curve. So like this is spinning around and then this turns this way as the weights move outward. And so it's the weight that pulls that. And that's your mechanical advance via the weight system, okay? And we're gonna recurve this distributor, so we're gonna pull these weights off. So that's what that is. And then additional advance is made off of the vacuum advance canister, and like at idle or at when your foot's off the throttle and your engine's on high vacuum, a very low load. When you're on a low load, it adds more advance to, you know, make sure you have the cylinder pressure at the right time to keep the car moving and or running, or you know, whatever mode it's in at that point. So I don't know if this ignition module looks that healthy, but it was all running, so I'm gonna say that, you know, that's, we're not gonna mess with that. We can change that out if it's a problem, but we're gonna change, we're gonna put adjustable vacuum module in here. And I'm just going to go ahead and curve this because he asked me to give it a little tune up. So I like to curve the distributor because these could be really slow weights and they could have a lot of timing way up above 3,000-4,000. We want to have the timing kind of all in by $3,000, 3,500, and then that way we can get a good solid amount of, we'll know what we're dealing with. And we don't want too much. We only want like, I want like 10 degrees initial, I want 20 degrees mechanical, and then I want another, I don't know, 10 to 14 degrees on the vacuum advance. So, you know, at idle it could have like up to 22 degrees or something like that, you know, like 10 degrees plus 12 degrees plus 10, whatever. So obviously for a distributor, your maximum advance is going to be wherever you have it located, your static timing plus your mechanical timing, whatever this moves, however many degrees that is, plus when you're wide open throttle, this is not in play. When the engine starts picking up vacuum, when you decrease throttle position, this will start to come into play, and also at idle. So all right, I think I said that enough times. So let's pull these weights off and get a weight kit on here with new springs and weights. I usually start with about 10 degrees. I put a light on it and make sure I don't have more than, like, I'll start at 32 to 34 degrees maximum timing. That's usually pretty safe for anything up to a Vortec head. Like Vortec usually likes 32 maximum-ish. You know, we're just throwing numbers out there so you can crucify me if you want. But I'm just saying, you don't need as much timing for those heads. I don't know how big the chamber is on this. I don't know what it wants. We'll talk about how to find the max, you know, the right amount of timing. And every engine is different. And that's just how it is. We'll put some dielectric grease on there. A little bit on both sides there. That'll help keep the moisture out and the spark in. Spread that out on there. I put the bushing in, don't get no grease on that. That's conductive. We're going to slide the bushing over the hole. I'll bring this over there. Little bushing goes down where the spring pokes up out of it. Can we even see it in here? And the spring pokes up out of it. My little light is not working. And the bushing or the rubber washer goes on there. And then the coil goes on top of that. And then it has a new ground lead that came with the kit. And let me see, the ground lead is right there. That's the middle one. See this one a little corroded? We ain't gonna reuse that. We're gonna use a new one. There's the bushing. That's what's left of the old bushing. That's pretty nasty looking. It's actually not two pieces like the new one. So, or it's not, something's missing is what I'm saying. Okay, so that's no good. So it's a good thing we're replacing this. We're gonna put in the contact here for the ground. And it just slides right in. This is the other piece that was in there is broken in half. So that ain't no good. And then we'll just take this washer that was stuck here, peel it off, and put it on. Get the gunk off the bottom of the contact area. Okay. We're going to put the coil in here. Coil, transformer, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and then they fit down, and that's where all your little parts of your ignition hook up. Slide that in there. Slide this one in here. And now we got our contacts in there for our ignition module and our tach and all that. Then you're going to put the screws back down on in it. And this is plastic, so you don't want to mess that up. Don't go too hog wild. I go crisscross usually. Okay. All right. Now we got a rebuilt cap. Cap ready to go right back on the hot rod. Look at that, fits right on top of the carburetor. Okay. So now we're going to change the springs and stuff. So in these kits, they usually have instructions that tell you which springs and which go with your weights. So I'm probably going to go download that because it didn't come with it. And should be good. Oh, they give me some plastic nonsense in there. Alright, so we're going to pull the springs off of this. Ah, man, when your hands are cold, you just lose dexterity so quickly. And, okay, we got them loose. Alright, here it is all installed, right? And, you got we use the lightest springs on this one. And the bushings comes with 3 sets of bushings, got those ones and then 2 other sets. And it came with 3 sets of springs also. But those bushings, you got to find which ones fit over the top of your the little pins right here. And then I actually, once you find the ones that slide onto those decently, and they have to be easy to move, otherwise your setup ain't gonna work. So you want these to move freely. And that's what their job is. So you find the right weights, and then you got to press them a little bit, press them in from the bottom. So you got the flange on the bottom, and then up through the weights. So then once you got that all set up, you're good. And well, let's replace the vacuum advance can.
crazy old man still owes me $1,000. Said meet at the shop, a builder he's not. Backlot tour of hobo automobile, engine shoebox, dumpster fire on wheels. Red wire, black wire, split wire, crack wire, right wire, coil wire, plug wire, back wire. He said there'll be a few upgrades, nothing for me, but it comes in spades. Then spoke with a grin, don't forget that wire, paint this and that, I'm gonna smoke some tires. Red wire, black wire, split wire, crack wire, right wire, coil wire, plug wire, back wire. Then spoke with a grin, don't forget that wire.
All right, let's see if I can get a little more light. There we go. That might be too much. Everything in this car has been broken. You know, it just shatters when you touch it. And then, like, look at this stuff. It's just stuff that's broke that I'm like, how did that get broken under there? But, you know, there's a lot of pieces here. A lot of brittle pieces. I mean, don't help them. As old as it is, and it's like a car that was meant to be thrown away after it was used. I guess unless you're a Corvette guy and they're like, no, oh, look at that.